at Camden Yards. Pirates trying to leave here with a win today against this very good Orioles team. They come in at 26-13. And the bases festooned with pink. And how about a throwback for today? Last time that Andrew McCutchen led off a game for the Pirates, he was 24 years old. The Toyota RAV4 lineup today. Yes, it's Kutch DHing leading it off, and then Brian Reynolds with Santana hitting third, and Sawinski cleaning up. Key Brian Hayes slides down to 5. It's Marcano in Bay. Josh Palacios gets a start, and then Austin Hedges for Derek Shelton's Pirates. Got to shake it up a little bit for these Bucks. Having a hard time hitting in the last couple of weeks. Facing Kyle Gibson of the Orioles. Delivering a first pitch strike.
A little shakeup, like you said, Joe, and here the First National Bank by the numbers for Kyle Gibson. 4-4 in his 9th start, 31 strikeouts. Big sinker, slider, sweeper, whatever you want to call it, changeup guy. Has had a lot of success getting the ball on the ground. 10 double plays so far on the season. So let's see if we can Pirates can get this ball in the air.
Asking Derek Shelton why Kutch is the leadoff man today, rather than let's just shake it up. He says he gets on base.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah, leading among the 9 that are in there today, highest on base percentage. And he lines one up the middle. Turning around the fastball, base hit, and he's on base. Kyle Gibson, former All-Star, 35 years old. The defense behind him, the 21-year-old Gunnar Henderson is at third base, with Ortiz just called up today, Adam Frazier, and then Ryan Mountcastle in that infield. Hayes, Mullins, and Stowers with James McCann. They used to call him McCannon. Maybe they still do. Got a good arm behind the plate. Well, the Pirates get the leadoff man on. And Brian Reynolds cleanly shaven. 295. Now, how good would it be if the Pirates can get on the board here early?
Yeah, and you know, we just keep kind of talking about it. I talked about it with Kinger and Michael before the game. You know, we've just been waiting for that hit. You know, that double with the bases loaded or 2 runners on. Just something that. The big momentum shift on the offensive side. Maybe it's going to be this first inning. We'll see.
Back-to-back hits to start the game for the Pirates. And McCutchen able to take third. Nobody out here in the first inning.
Well, it kind of feels like it's been about a week and a half since we've seen this scenario right here, Joe, right? First guy gets on, next guy gets a hit. We've going first to third. And that right there, a little two-seam that just didn't stay in on Brian Reynolds, and he hits it hard.
This is a lot of what we saw for the Pirates for most of this season. Getting on base early and often.
The pressure, right? That's probably the bigger thing. The pressure that they were putting on the opponents was very, very prevalent.
Well, just like that, men at the corners. Carlos Santana moving up to the 3 spot today. 4 career home runs against Kyle Gibson. Delivering a high breaking ball. 248. Couple of home runs for Carlos. Trying to deliver the first run of the game the Pirates' way. Now 1-1. John Lipka working the plate today. Home plate umpire. Edwin Jimenez at first base, a call-up umpire. The crew chief James Hoy at second base, and DJ Rayburn at third. Now 1-2 on Santana. Last time the Pirates scored in the first inning was the last time before this stretch of games, right? That was in that doubleheader at Washington 2 weeks ago yesterday. That ended up capping a stretch where the Pirates won 11 of 12. The Pirates have since lost 11 of 12. One of the few instances in baseball history a team has won that much, followed by giving it right back. A strange set of streaks for the Pirates, who are going to get on the board here in the first inning. Even on a double play, that will still score McCutchen, and the Pirates are up 1-0. And you were saying that's been Gibson's specialty this year. Let's look at our Levin Furniture and Mattress double play.
Well, this ball looks like it was going to eat up out of second baseman Adam Frazier, and it looks like they're going to take a look at this. Maybe it wasn't a double play.
Santana.
Ooh, that is close.
Getting out of the box. 37 years old.
Pittsburgh is challenging the out call at first base.
Ooh. Oh, they're going to win this, I think.
They are too.
Yeah. So it's a Pirates challenge here in the first inning. What that would do, it was put Santana on at first base and taken out off the board, which could potentially open up a little bit more for the Pirates in this inning. They've got the lead, 1-0. April 29th, last time that they scored in the first inning. Let's look at our AHN Super Mole. Got to contact the interior of the glove. There.
I think he's going to be safe.
Yeah. Looks pretty clear. Yeah, once it's on the back of the mitt and touching the leather at the back of the mitt there, that's when it counts.
Not to completely change the subject, but I just looked up on the out-of-town scoreboards and I see top of the 9th Cleveland in LA, and then I looked at my watch and I said, wait. Obviously that's a Peacock game.
Yeah, it's starting a little early.
But I was like, is that right?
That pitch timer is really something, isn't it? And they're still looking at it. The longer it takes, the longer that you doubt whether they're going to overturn it or not. Usually,
I mean, I don't know how you.
I think it should be overturned.
Definitive, yeah.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is safe.
And so, give Santana a run batted in. He had it all the way. Now it's interesting when you look at a play that many times, if the throw doesn't bounce, because he's kind of have to bring the glove back a little bit to get that friendlier hop, little things like that an infielder can do to maybe end up changing an outcome.
Yeah. And to even add more on that, you think about, as we keep talking about the last couple of weeks, but that ball last night that Miguel Andujar hits to right field, we may be looking at a Pirate victory last night if that ball gets down and maybe he's not standing on second or third and something happens. It just, we keep saying it, I know, but things have just not been easy for this Pirates team the last couple of weeks. But we have seen what things look like when it's going well, and it's really impressive. So we have a lot of hopes that
another hit,
that things will get back into a good spot for this Pirates team.
3-hit inning and counting, and so with winning that challenge, 2-out single, okay, that's not bad. Now you got 2 on with 1 out.
This little breaking ball that just kind of hangs out on that outer side. Jack Swinsky, it's a nice job.
I left it up a little bit. Over the reach of Adam Frazier. So Swinsky, who was part of the trade for Frazier, lines a single over him, and now Hayes, 2 on and 1 out, a run in. And hitless in his last 13. Hits the ball hard routinely when he chooses to swing. His odds of hitting the ball hard are just about as high as any hitter in baseball. Out to center and deep, but Mullins with some room will at least move up Santana. That's the second out. Put a charge into it.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's every single night that we're seeing Key hit a ball or two or three hard. His directional finder has been a little bit off in the early going, but he's creeping back up to a decent number, at least from the average standpoint. And you kind of feel like if he's able to get that ball in the air just a little bit more consistently, that you're going to see some balls in the gaps or a couple more home runs.
Yeah, like that. Here's Marcano. Pirates with a 3-hit inning for the first time in a week. First inning run in 2 weeks. And I just got that feeling with Keller on the mound today. I mean, you're not going to ask him to pitch a shutout every time, but he's going to take the mound with a lead. And he's been the Pirates' most consistent starter. Good feeling here on this Sunday. Marcano, there's Keller. He'll take the extra rest. That means more runs. Got one in the books. Still men on the corners. Changes up on him.
Yeah, there's the changeup right there. High usage pitch against the lefties.
And softly hit into center, and Mullins able to close the gap and end the inning. Let the Pirates get on the board. And they are leading 1-0. And Baltimore's starting lineup. It's Mullins and then Santander, hitless in the series, made a big play in the field last night. Henderson and Mountcastle with Frazier hitting fifth. Then Hayes and Stowers, McCann, and Joey Ortiz just called up today for Brandon Hyde's Orioles. Mitch will pitch today, and he has been very good. Mullins dropping down a beautiful bunt. Got to let it roll. Yeah.
Wow.
Tom Amansky smiling somewhere. That is textbook. Look at that.
You know what can't Cedric Mullins do? He is the complete ball player.
Just dives in the grass. I let it roll just in case it might go foul before the bag. Diving play by Marcano to get it out. Oh, what a sensational play by the two Pirates middle infielders to get it out on that.
Take a look at where Marcano starts right here. He's got to deal with not just shifting away from that second base bag. He's got to deal with James Hoy, who's standing there. This is a very above average play for a middle infielder.
And Sean where Babe was stationed too. He was closer to first than he was second. So that's why you see him running through the bag there.
Yeah. And here's Pennsylvania lottery numbers for Mitch Keller. His ninth start. Got a 2.7, 49 2/3, 56 Ks. And the son of Joni.
Curveball to Gunnar Henderson.
And it's gotten to the point with Mitch Keller that I get really excited to see how, with going into every start, how he's going to deploy his arsenal per se, right? Last game we saw him just attack the Rockies with fastballs all over the zone. We've seen him a few times really throw a lot of those sweepers right there, and the only pitch we haven't seen him really dabble a little bit more is that changeup this year. He's gotten away from that a little bit. It's kind of a show me type pitch, but it seems like every time he goes out there, he may have a game plan set up for the particular offense or a different style going into that game. So let's see what he's got today.
Yeah, he talked about the game plan the last time around, but I was thinking in the first inning of that last start, there was a 12-pitch at bat to Ryan McMahon.
Yep.
And he just kept, and he looked late on the fastball, and he kept throwing him the fastball, saying, I'm not going to give in here. I'm not going to, I know what you're, I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Threw him one curveball. He was way out in front, then finished him off with a fastball. And I thought to myself, boy, he really has the knack of pitching now, too. Full count. Swing and a miss. Santander running. He's got his first stolen base. But Henderson strikes out. Let's take a look at the Shealy's scouting report on Mitch Keller today.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's outside, like I mentioned, that 4.2% on the changeup. Look at this. I mean, 182 against on the sweeper, 188 against the curveball. The sinker, the only one getting hit, and that's not even a 250 clip. And that's the one thing that I see on the opposing side is just the indecisiveness on how they're going to approach Mitch Keller. Do I be aggressive? Do I make him throw strikes? Well, he's thrown a ton of strikes this year, but he's doing it with essentially 6 different pitches.
So Santander with his 4th career stolen base in 7 seasons. A 2-seamer called a strike. Not really a base stealer. First one in 2 years. Now Keller last year, they would run on him a good bit. This year he's brought it in some. Combination of he and Hedges. Hedges right there. Receives that at 98 from Mitch Keller. 2 strikeouts in the inning. And the Pirates take a 1-0 lead into the second. Bat here in the second. Some people still on the field out there in center, so brief delay. All right, they've finished up. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there or here. Love to see Ji-Hwan Bae lead off an inning. That great speed. Son of Teok. A 1-1. Gibson a little bit errant in that first inning. Usually more of a command pitcher. We'll see if he settles down. McCutchen started things off with a base hit as the leadoff man today. And Bae, the leadoff man here in the second. Terrific speed. Look at the Levin Furniture and Mattress strike zone. That was in there. Trying to keep the hitters off balance. Kyle Gibson does so right there. Slowed the bat down and then sped it up.
Now Gibson doesn't necessarily light up the radar gun, but look at the movement on this 2-seam right here. Front hip. Would have been a strike. Ji-Hwan Bae just trying to fight it off.
Derek Shelton was talking about that's one of the, for a pitcher, one of the last things that usually they're able to harness if they ever can master that pitch. Boy, what as a hitter, that's got to be difficult.
It is, because you're taught cover the outside part of the plate, and when you're trying to handle off speed or breaking balls, whether they're coming into you or away. And that was the one thing as a switch hitter that kind of worked against you. As a switch hitter, you're used to breaking balls coming into you. You get a lot of fastballs in and a lot of changeups away, but a guy like Gibson or even Mitch that has that good 2-seam, that's the one pitch that's so difficult to pull the trigger on or even fight off, because you're not really taught to cover that area. You're kind of taught to hit the mistakes in those areas. So balls that start in out of the hand, you're going, no, that's a ball. And then if you have a guy that has that good movement, there's not a whole lot you can do.
That starts in, then comes back over that inner edge. Maybe the reason Bay had that late emergency swing on it. Josh Palacios grounds out. So 2 up and 2 down in the Pirates' second. And now Austin Hedges, number 9 man for the Pirates here in the second inning. And a base hit. 2-out hit for Austin Hedges. Turning the lineup over with McCutchen coming up. And coming up on the next homestand on Friday, the Pirates will host the Arizona Diamondbacks, a 6:35 game. There will be a post-game Marvel-themed drone show, courtesy of Allegheny Health Network. Check it out, pirates.com/tickets. Pirates continue the road trip to Detroit Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Friday will begin the next Pirates homestand. McCutchen takes a strike. Pirates with 3 singles in the first inning, plating a run. McCutchen in that leadoff spot as a Pirate for the first time since August 13th, 2011. You were the cleanup man that day.
I don't remember that particular day, but I was doing some cleanup duty that year. Yeah.
That catch started. He was the first batter. You were the last. That's okay. Well, John Axford at that time was pretty good. He played Milwaukee that day.
Yeah.
Former Pirate, but
yeah, he was good. And Milwaukee gave us all sorts of trouble in those years too.
So Kutch put in there. Derek Shelton said he gets on base. And he did in the first. This time Gibson gets him in the second. Man left for the Pirates. They lead 1-0. Hey, Hayes and Marcano on the left side. Bay and Santana on the right side. Reynolds, Sawinski, Palacios in the outfield. Out to left for Reynolds. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Mitch Keller against Adam Frazier, flying out. So Hedges doing the catching of Keller today. There's Austin Hedges with Austin Hayes coming up. The signal being put down just above the right kneecap. Pitch comm system.
I think he said Austin.
Hayes.
It's usually how the conversations go in your first at bat.
Out to right. Josh. Palacios has the catch. I've seen number 21 there with Hayes. Palacios talking with him before the game today. His favorite player growing up was Roberto Clemente, and he said it was an honor today to be able to play right field for the Pirates.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, he didn't play. Did he play right field last homestand?
Might have been the other day as well. Yeah, I think so. But his dad, growing up in the era of Clemente playing, and kind of taught him Clemente's story, and just talking about that today. I thought that was neat. Kyle Stowers in there today for Baltimore. Keller threw 103 pitches in that complete game shutout on Monday. So not very many. That wasn't even the most pitches he's thrown in a start this year. And so already today a 12-pitch first inning. The first 2 outs had 5 pitches. Or 4 pitches here in this inning.
And we kind of talked about it before. The kid gloves are definitely off with Mitch Keller, and that was notable in the second series of the year in Boston. Last year, kind of still handling him in those middle innings, those 5th, 6th innings, with a little more care. But this year, it's go ahead, Mitch, you're our guy. Put us on your back and he's done just that to this point in the season.
Yeah, he didn't struggle or labor in those late innings in that complete game. He threw 9 pitches, 8 pitches, and 7 pitches in those final 3 innings back on Monday.
Mother is Angela, and it never gets old. Neil and Joe, hearing these guys talk about the way their mothers have impacted their lives, and it's really interesting to hear them talk about what it was like as little leaguers when they would look at their mothers in the stands or play catch with them, as you heard Holderman discuss as well. But nonetheless, really a fantastic day, and really cool to see these guys paying tribute to their moms.
Oh, thanks for that. And in some cases, there are stories of course, Major League Baseball players, their moms were their coaches. You know, and now we have women that are coaches in Major League Baseball or minor league baseball, and all throughout professional sports. It's becoming more and more apparent. It's not solely a support role for some of these women are on the front lines of teaching these guys how to play. And that's what's neat about Mother's Day, as we think about there's so many different roles that women play in our lives, and the moms out there, of course, getting us started.
That's right.
The most important part.
As much as I was fortunate enough to learn from my dad from a baseball perspective and life perspective, you know, he like a lot of dads traveled a lot when I was, you know, in middle school and high school. And so, you know, mom would pack the lunch. Mom would take me to practices and games. Mom would be there. And she would be the one to also keep me accountable when my dad wasn't around with all the sports. And so I joke, too, that she taught me how to hit because my dad was a pitcher. And, of course, as we know, a lot of pitchers don't know how to hit. But that's not entirely true, obviously. Oh, boy.
Got you started. Well, Reynolds might be able to beat this out. He does. Reaching on a strikeout. Under the big top today. That happens every once in a while. That's why you run.
Okay, let's dissect this one. Curveball in the dirt, swung at, off the knee pad.
Doesn't realize
Brian doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
There goes Brian McCann after it. There goes Kyle Gibson after it. Gibson gets there first. He tosses it. He drops it. Was that good? Did I get everything?
Yeah, he gave us the play-by-play. Now, if Mountcastle is able to catch that low throw, Reynolds just strikes out. See how they score that, but it still does go down as a strikeout. There'll just be something else with it.
Strikeout 1, 2, 1.
And just past Mountcastle to the second baseman and right back to him. The old 3-4-3. 2 plays you don't see very often in a row.
Oh my goodness. Wild pitch by Gibson. Okay.
First baseman to the second baseman to the first baseman. Look at our AHN Supermo. Well, if I don't have it, then he does, so I better get back to first. Sawinski, a base hit back in the first inning. Coming up with a man in scoring position coming in to today. 346 with runners in scoring position. He's the cleanup man today. Number 4 spot.
Just keep thinking how fun it would be to see Jack hit one out there on Utah Street.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got that power, all right. I don't know, depending on where it's hit, if it's hit more up the line or whatnot, but he's hit 3 career home runs at 440 feet or more.
That
a
might
couple
get
of those
the job
this year.
done.
Yeah. And kind of similar dimensions. It's a 21-foot wall in right. Not quite as long as at PNC Park, but it's closer to home plate. There's 318 down the line in right. And he'll take the walk. So a strikeout and a wild pitch and a walk. 2 on for the Pirates. And this Mother's Day, join Major League Baseball and the Susan G. Komen Foundation in the fight against breast cancer. You can scan the QR code displayed on your screen to find out more about it. And that's why you see the players adorned in pink. And that has been taking place since 2006 in Major League Baseball. Brian Hayes, Mom Jalinda.
Well, the Pirates doing a nice job these first 3 innings. 4 hits, a walk, that run in the first. And this another kind of scenario in my head, Joe, where if you could just see a ball hitting the gap, I think you'd really see a lot of momentum on the Pirate side. And there's a hit.
And he rolls it through the right side, and here comes Reynolds to the plate. He's going to score. Sawinski stands up at third. Brian Hayes drives in the run, and the Pirates are up 2-0.
We'll take that. Really nice piece of hitting by Key right there, using the 4-hole like we see him do quite so often. This swing right here with runners in scoring position or 2 strikes plays every time. It's very, very rare that you're going to see a second baseman move way over in that hole. And Reynolds off with the crack of the bat when he sees that ball on the ground, scores easily.
That read nicely with 1 out. And so Sawinski standing up at third too. That's a big advancement. Tucupita Marcano. I heard you talking in the pregame about, this is not a team that's constructed that hit the 3-run home run. It's not the Earl Weaver Orioles of the 80s and 70s. This is a team that built its success early this season with a lot of traffic on the bases. And we're seeing that today.
Yep. Who knows? Maybe Tuke throws a bunt down right here, get another run in, or we draw up a hit and run in this at bat to possibly score a run. We just haven't found ourselves in these situations. First and third, nobody out like we did in the first inning. First and third, 1 out like we do in this inning. We haven't found ourselves in those situations for the last 2 weeks. There it is.
And a bunt, a safety squeeze, so Sawinski does not come home. Tries to read it. Wasn't a good enough bunt. Does move up Hayes to second, but now 2 outs.
Yeah, and that safety squeeze is always an interesting concept. Obviously, any bunt hard back to the pitcher is just not going to work with any scenario. But in a safety squeeze, you're just looking to put it somewhere in play, not back to the pitcher. So whether you decide to take it with you to first base or you decide to bunt it down the third baseline, the pressure is more so on the runner at third than anybody else, and obviously the hitter just getting it in play. But nonetheless, second, third, 2 outs right here. 1 hit most likely scores 2.
With Bay at the plate. On the ground,
there we go.
Just past Mountcastle. That brings in 1. Hayes will score as well. Ji-Hwan Bae, a 2-run single, and the Pirates lead 4-0 with Keller on the mound. That's a good feeling.
This is the Pirates baseball that we've become accustomed to in the first 4 weeks of the season, Joe. A lot of traffic, good at bats, taking some walks, getting some hits, even though if they're not the home runs. This is how they got to win, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ji-Hwan Bae's off to the races right here on a steal attempt.
Well, the Pirates have so seldom even just played with a lead, and now they've been able to do that, scoring the most runs that they have in more than 2 weeks, 4, and doing it early against Kyle Gibson. Already have a couple of hits with runners in scoring position today. They had not done that in May, having 2 hits with runners in scoring position in a game. They've done that here early. It's just like they won 11 of 12. They lost 11 of 12. Okay, we gave it back.
Reset.
Pot's good. Let's refresh, start over, and let's get back to it again. And that's what it looks like today. And you got Keller on the mound. Remember, he won 2-0 on Monday against Colorado. That complete game shutout. And now already with a 4-run lead.
Gibson working very quick to home plate on Palacios here. Very aware. G1 Bay on first base. 1-2 count. This is when you want to go.
At Bay, only Ronald Acuna Jr. with more stolen bases in the National League than Bay. Josh Palacios called up on Monday. This is only his 5th plate appearance since then.
Oh.
Bay taking off. Wow.
Oh.
And picked off. Gibson waited for his middle infielder to get over, and so Palacios will end up leading off the next inning. But the Pirates score 3 in the 3rd, and in Baltimore they lead the O's 4.
Nana with the heart. That is because Derek's kids call his mom Nana Love. How nice is that? Nice little tribute, custom made by Cody Sable back in the Pittsburgh area. And Shelty proud to wear him this afternoon, Neil and Joe. Pretty nice little unique tribute to his mom.
I like that. Cody Sable, a terrific young artist in Pittsburgh. And thinking about Shelty was saying in a radio interview that we did a little bit ago, the baseball moms, you know, thinking today a baseball game on Mother's Day and all the different things that his mom did for him, balancing out Dad a little bit, but also making sure that got to practice, making sure that he had the support he needed on the way to his career. And then his wife Allie now with 3 children, 2 are now college age and grown, but one still at home in school, and still you gotta do it all with Dad being away all the time. And so great sentiments from Derek Shelton as McCann first swinging hit today for Baltimore, and a bunt hit from Mullins, who was on deck for Joey Ortiz coming up. Just called back up today. And with their shortstop Jorge Mateo in a hitting slump right now, they went back to the minors, bringing him up from Norfolk. Played his college ball at New Mexico State. He was the shortstop, the second baseman, Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah. It's a pretty good combination right there, isn't it?
I would say so. And Ortiz beating Gonzalez to the big leagues for now, so I'm sure he probably lets him know that. Down the line, Palacios, and just off of his glove in foul ground. Foul ball. The Orioles runners ran it out anyway. Now, unlike the play sliding last night, a lot easier for an umpire to tell when the guy's on his feet.
Yeah, you can see that invisible line per se from the baseline all the way up through the glove. Whereas when you're sliding, you kind of brush away that baseline down the right field line. And you kind of looking at it like, man, I should have had that.
Long run. Ortiz will get another chance. This is a potentially reviewable play, so they're waiting to see if Brandon Hyde wanted to take a look. It'll just be a strike to Ortiz. So good. Last year, you see something like this. A man on at first, start an inning, Keller throw that sinker, get that ground ball double play. He's one of the best at it last year. Trying right there, but Ortiz took it, and he's down on strikes. 4 strikeouts already for Keller.
Again, still in attack mode. Mitch right here with 2 strikes. I mean, I don't know if he could have walked it up there and put it in a better spot in the zone.
Hayes will play in for Mullins, who butted his way on first time around. Yeah, last year all those ground ball double plays. This year Keller is third in the league in strikeouts.
It's wild.
Hayes playing in. Is adding another layer and keep getting better and better. And we told you when we started the broadcast, this is all in the last really year.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, we knew Mitch's arsenal was always really good. It was just a matter of how is he going to utilize it to the best of his ability.
Because he was always like this in the minor leagues in terms of the success.
Yeah. It's a different game up here, right? I mean, you got to be consistent. You got to be good, not just one day and not good another, because you'll get hammered.
Out to left. Reynolds right there. And that's the second out. So 2 outs. Now let's step aside for this message from attorney David Schrager.
I'm attorney David Schrager. We think of this as a family, and it is our job to help your family. Don't be scared. Be prepared.
2 away for Anthony Santander. Hitless in the series. First pitch curveball. Boy, you said it earlier. These hitters, they don't know what to expect, and then there's not like there's some glaring weakness from Keller either.
Yeah, when you go into a game with a guy like Mitch Keller, if you don't have a sample size of what he's done to you in the past when you've had success and failure against that guy, it's hard to formulate an approach, because you can't cover 6 pitches. You can't be sitting up there in the batter's box saying, okay, well, I'm going to look for this pitch, because you got 6 to deal with.
Santander hit with a pitch. Well, if you haven't faced him this year, you've never seen him with a cutter. If you faced him more than a year ago, you never saw him with a 2-seam fastball.
Yeah.
So he keeps adding and reinventing.
Well, and that's going to be the key moving forward. As you saw, Santander got that one on the back foot, and that's going to be the key for him when he faces, the division opponents a second, third time. Now that they've seen the cutter, they've seen the 2-seam, they've seen all of this, he's going to have to adapt and move forward and continue to evolve that part of his game as well.
Fought off foul off of his leg or foot. 2 on for Baltimore. Oh, maybe off the kneecap.
Off the back kneecap. Sometimes that happens with cutters or sliders or curveballs coming in on you.
Well, that was out over. You can't really sit on one pitch, even the fastball, right? I mean, because it's a lot of different kinds of fastball. He's a tough guy to hit. We'll look at that, and then he'll just dial it up. See you later. 5 strikeouts for Keller. Pirates up 4-0. Let's take a look at our AHN injury update. And for Antonio Senzatella, a right elbow sprain, suffering in his last start against the Pirates last week, and now hitting the injured list for the Rockies. Yeah, remember he left that start in the 3rd inning. Josh Palacios was batting when Ji-hwan Bae caught trying to steal in the 3rd inning. It's a fresh count against Kyle Gibson here in the 4th. 4-0 Pirates lead. Gibson at 55 pitches through the first 3 innings. Now ahead on Palacios. Grew up in Brooklyn. A little bit of big league time. Washington and Toronto. Didn't get a plate appearance in spring training. Wasn't invited to spring training this year. Was with the Pirates though in minor league camp. Came over, played a couple of innings in a couple of games defensively at the end of a spring training game. That's it. And by early May he's called up to the major leagues because he had 434 in AAA with 20 RBIs in 13 games.
Yeah, pretty remarkable.
0 for 2 today. And one out in the Pirates' fourth inning. When the Pirates return home Saturday, they'll host the Diamondbacks at 4:05. Help us honor the brave men and women who serve in our armed forces. And thanks to 84 Lumber, the first 20,000 fans will take home a camo cooling towel on Saturday. Go to pirates.com/tickets. 4:05 game. It'll be Arizona and Texas on the upcoming homestand.
Yeah, Texas is a team we haven't seen in Pittsburgh in quite some time.
And not since the last time that they were in
That's
Pittsburgh.
the last time.
That's been a while. Let's see. First place, Texas.
And Arizona playing pretty well this year as well in that tough NL West.
They were 3 back and in second place entering the day. Austin Hedges with a base hit his first time. First pitch single to right. Gibson with the Phillies. Last year he was an all-star with Texas in 21, then traded to the Phillies shortly after the break. And Hedges will take a walk. So the number 9 man has been on both times today for the Pirates. A man on for Andrew McCutchen, getting the start as the leadoff hitter today. I hadn't been in that role in 12 years with the Pirates. Did see a lot of action as a leadoff hitter when he was with the Phillies, Yankees, I think, in the postseason a little bit. But in that relatively short time that he was the Pirates leadoff man, he had 8 leadoff home runs.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of profiles as that Springer type, right? Like,
oh yeah,
not necessarily the super speedy leadoff guy, but able to really hurt you with extra base hits in that leadoff spot. So, Derek Shelton flipped a coin on that one today, and it's paid off to this point in the top of the 4th inning. 6 hits and 4 runs.
They're putting him as the leadoff man, the DH. And if you throw him 4 wide ones, he'll take that walk, getting on base at a 362 clip entering the game today. He's worked the count back to even now. And the players with more leadoff home runs as a Pirate: Al Martin with 10, Adam Frazier with 10.
Wow.
Barry Bonds with 20. Foul territory, and Gunnar Henderson able to take care of it for the second out. Let's take a look at our Point Park performance from the past. This is in the 21 All-Star game. Kyle Gibson pitching for the American League. Brian Reynolds in his first at bat. You remember watching that? I was like, oh, you got him. Oh. And then the next batter was Adam Frazier, who lined a base hit. So the 8 and 9 hitters in the starting lineup, both Pirates facing Kyle Gibson in that third inning of the All-Star game back in 21. And Frazier now his teammate, of course. Now Hedges is on with 2 outs. Good changeup. Reynolds singled in the first, and then in that third inning he struck out to start the inning, but reached on a wild pitch. Even though Gibson is 35 years old, only once has he gotten 100 pitches in a game this year, so already at 73. Perhaps tracking for a 5-inning outing today. Brandon Hyde back at the helm. Attended his daughter's college graduation yesterday. Reynolds called out on strikes. Pirates strand the man, but they lead 4-0. From Oriole Park at Camden Yards, Pirates leading 4-0. Ryan Mountcastle to start it off. Frazier and then Hayes, middle of the order. .95 at the knees, right on the outer edge. Whenever he wants it.
He's throwing bullets out there, Joe. That's what he's doing.
Oh, just takes care of him with a sweeper. This is Keller at his best again.
I mean, look at where that ball starts in the middle away part of the plate, and almost ends up in the dirt.
6 strikeouts for Keller. His old teammate flat out against him first time around. Yeah, since that trade July 25th of 21, Frazier .243 average. Remember, he was leading baseball in hits in that 21 season on the day of that trade. Pirates got Jack Sawinski, Tucupita Marcano, and another pitcher in return for Frazier. Now on his 3rd team since then. Signed a free agent deal with the Orioles. Talked with him yesterday. Said he really likes it here. The team's winning. Always was a good team guy with the Pirates. Yeah. One of our favorites when he was in Pittsburgh. Glad to see him having success. Here's Austin Hayes. This Orioles team, yesterday Contreras did a fine job of limiting them a couple runs over his 7 innings. And they're one of the better offensive teams in baseball, and we saw Contreras pitch well. Now Keller's doing the same thing. That shouldn't be discounted. This is some fine pitching we're seeing from the Pirates. And even Oviedo, it wasn't a little bit of a bumpy outing, but he got into 6 without allowing a run.
Yeah, and not a lot of household names in this Orioles offense, but guys, when you look at their numbers and you dissect the numbers a little bit more, really good in the roles that they're put in, and obviously the pitching has been pretty good so far. Teams like this in the AL East, the pressure is on every single year in the AL East to keep up with the big boys, the Yankees and the Rays and the Red Sox.
Yeah, they were top 5 offense entering this series, but especially the starting pitching doing very well against the Orioles, and the Pirates leading 4-0.
Liberty Kid, VP of food here at Levy Restaurants at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Mom spent 50 years in Squirrel Hill. Happy Mother's Day to her as well. So pretty cool to see
thanks.
a Pittsburgh
What'd you bring
kid
for
here.
Joe?
Joe, did you want anything?
Well, when life gives you lemons.
Hey, show that again when we get a second.
Neil gets all the
show him that
crab
silver
cakes.
platter right here on that camera right there. Look at that. Nothing but the
That
best
is
when you're Neil Walker
crazy,
right here.
Crazy.
Maryland dog, Maryland crab cakes. They get no better than right here in Baltimore, guys.
I take back everything bad I said about you, Robbie.
Everything?
Crab dip on a hot dog. Would you have thought of that?
Wow,
Never.
no, that's a great idea.
Never.
By the way, Neil just had his fingers crossed when he said, I take back everything bad I said
No,
about you.
no.
So thanks for that, Neil.
This looks great. Well, when
You know
you're-
who's looking at this? Matt Capps from the radio booth. So we're going to have
Yeah,
to
you better
either
strike
send something
fast.
over or
Yeah, if we don't need it now, it's going to
hide
be
it
gone.
from him.
Yeah, that's great.
Enjoy that.
Well, you come to Maryland, you think of crab cakes, right?
Joe, are you going to take a bite, yes or no?
Yeah.
That's
no,
a
I mean,
definite no.
I mean, if Neil
There's
shares,
no chance he'd
I
take
mean,
it. You know
Neil's,
this, Neil.
He's not
Neil's
gonna, if
sharing
he doesn't
that.
get it quick, it's going to be gone.
Sorry, I already took his credit card to pay for it. Thanks, Joe.
Again,
Thank you, Robbie.
he's so good at that. Yeah, and then Boog Powell has a barbecue stand. Here they go.
Man, he's
Orioles,
got the barbecue stand at home.
great
Lou's
slugger.
got the one
yeah.
out here.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's right. From
Yep.
the same era, 70s. Great players. Boy, that smells good, doesn't it?
Oh, it really does.
Turn up your smell at home and try this. Remember they were going to try to invent that? They never got that going.
Smell vision.
Smell vision. This would be the day that you wish you had it. Well, thanks to Robbie for that. And thanks to the Orioles for being kind enough to present Neil with enough for a whole inning.
I'm going to take it on the trip to Detroit.
I don't know if it'll keep. It's a strike call on Jack.
Oh, nice day so far for Jack. Single, walk. A couple hits in game one of this series as well. Couple borderline pitches right there, though.
And Sawinski will work a walk. He's been on base all 3 times today. One of the greats in Orioles lore, Earl Weaver, their late great manager of the 70s, had his number retired in '82. This is back in the '71 World Series. This is Boog Powell.
801. Rule 801 says he's got to pitch from in front, on the rubber in front, and not on the side.
That's Earl Weaver talking with Boog Powell at the plate. Steve Blass on the mound. They're trying to rattle him in the first inning of Game 7 of the World Series.
That's great.
Disengaging the rubber, trying to rattle Steve. What does he do? Complete game victory. Pirates win. That's the last chance for to see Steve Blass on the mound in Baltimore right there. The Pirates, of course, came back in '79. And then not until interleague play after that. So those were the only 2 times the Pirates played at Memorial Stadium. That's where you saw the site of that '71 World Series win. So Hayes with one batted in his last time up. Pirates have had at least 1 base runner in every inning today. Far cry from last night, right? Remember Wells pitched fantastically for Baltimore.
Yeah, he did.
Just 1 base runner into the 7th.
And the flow of this game, both offensively and defensively and pitching wise, so far has been in the favor of the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've had some traffic. We've had some hits with runners in scoring position. Mitch has done a real nice job to this point, limiting base runners and damage. We played good defense so far.
Going with the sweeper that time. And then that '71 World Series, one of the 2 that the Pirates beat the Orioles in that decade. And after trailing 2-0 in that series, of course, Nelly Briles with the other complete game victory. Steve Blass 2 complete game wins in the '71 World Series. Roberto Clemente named MVP. Think about that. Last series that the Pirates won in Baltimore was the '79 World Series. They took 3 out of 4 in Baltimore. But all these regular season meetings since then, which have been sporadic because of interleague play, it's been the Orioles.
Yep. Well, and I can't help but think about those early 70s teams, obviously the Pirates ones, but the Orioles as well. My father was drafted in '68 by the Orioles in the first round, and he was blocked by all these great pitchers that the Orioles had in the early 70s, and we have some awesome things that he did. He threw a 15-inning no-hitter as a minor leaguer with in the Baltimore Orioles organization. Cal Ripken Sr. was his manager.
Wait, he threw a 15-inning no-hitter, your dad, Tom?
That's correct. In Albuquerque, Double-A, Fort Worth, Dallas-Fort Worth. So obviously still a record. 163 pitches.
Always will be. That's Jim Palmer, who was part of that. They had 4 20-game winners, the Orioles did at that time. And that was when you had a 4-man rotation.
Yeah.
So how does Tom Walker fit
in? Think about if you were a minor leaguer at that time, in that day and age, trying to get to the major leagues. And that's pretty tough starting cast to crack. And after that, he ended up eventually getting Rule 5 to the Expos and had a nice career, mainly with them and a couple other teams.
That'll be a record, I think, that will always stand. 15-inning no-hitter. And for Tom Walker, debuting in the big leagues for Montreal, this was the first inning that he had. Faced Joe Torre, Lou Brock, Ted Simmons, all in the Hall of Fame, and then Jose Cruz, who was a multiple-time All-Star. Little roller on a half swing. Gunner had it slip out of his hands, and so Marcano is on.
Check swing.
Look at it run off the bat like that.
Oh, and you can get away with this right here if you can really run like Tuke does.
Now that was a pitcher's pitch. That was a changeup that kept moving. Just hit off the end of the bat. Mound chat here with McCann and Gibson. A lot of traffic for the Pirates. Had a man on in every inning. They got 2 on and 2 out here, trying to build on a 4-run lead. Bay came through with a huge hit in a similar situation in the 3rd inning. He had 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. Came up with a base hit to right, bringing in 2.
It looks like
Mike Baumann is in the bullpen.
Getting ready, yeah.
I haven't seen him yet in the series. And when you're scoring and you're pitching like the Pirates did so often earlier this season, then you face the lesser relievers out of the pen more often because you've got the leads. You can run more. Yeah. It just all steamrolls, and it had been going in the opposite direction. But Mitch Keller again playing stopper today. Orioles have mustered little against him. And Gibson up to 94 pitches now. Knock him out of the game here with a 2nd hit today from Bay. Guided toward Mountcastle. Oh, it's a foot race. Gibson had the head start. Pirates strand 2, but lead by 4. Think about maybe running to first base. Remember that kind of check swing ground ball, trying to beat it out for a hit. But he's staying in there. Keep that in mind as the game moves on. Keller quickly ahead, 2 strikes on Stowers. Keller already with 6 more strikeouts today. He has now walked a batter. 7 strikeouts for Keller. Hard to keep track.
Phew.
Among the leaders in the National League in strikeouts.
Just climbs the ladder right here, up and in. That is such a good pitch with 2 strikes.
Which pitch to throw and where to throw it and when to throw it. He's got it all. Just 2 singles for the Orioles today. One was on a bunt. The other was James McCann, the only swinging hit today by the Orioles. Again, they came into this series top 5 offense out of the 30 teams in baseball in terms of runs per game. Keller's ERA for the season right now is 2.50. Coming off of a complete game shutout the last time against the Rockies on Monday. That was a 4-hitter. And we're in the 5th inning here. He still hasn't hit 60 pitches yet. The next one will get to that marker. He's still throwing 97 right there. Turned 27 years old last month. 20 pitch third. That was the bumpy inning when they got 2 runners on. One was a hit batter. Joey Ortiz is next. And another strike and another strikeout for Mitch Keller. 8 strikeouts. And that look says it all. A lot of hitters walking back to the dugout shaking their heads. Domination.
Backdoor 2-seam right here. Oh my gosh.
And if you do want to swing at it, it's at the knees and it's right on the outer edge. But and see if he can clean up this inning. Look at that. Boy. Wow. Just going right through the bottom of the order. Mitch Keller dominating the Orioles.
Especially my mom, April Underwood. Thank you for bringing me into this world. I hope all the mothers have a good day.
Look on the UPMC Health Plan scoreboard. 4-0 Pirates in the way that Mitch Keller's pitching. He didn't let the bullpen work last time. he's heading that way again today.
But we obviously haven't seen a ton of Holderman and Bednar, the quintessential 8th and 9th inning guys. But that's also sometimes a good thing. It hasn't necessarily been a good thing these last 2 weeks, but you'd like to keep them out of games that you have well in hand, and hopefully that keeps trending in that direction for the Pirates.
Mike Baumann on the pitch for the Orioles.
Some numbers for Baumann, his 17th game: 3-8, 19 Ks, and 9 walks.
Got Palacios, Hedges, and then back to the top of the order for Andrew McCutchen. Kyle Gibson, the Orioles starter, done after 5 innings today. Pirates with 7 hits off him. He walked 3. It's a foul ball.
Baumann this season about 50% fastball, 30% curve. A little bit of change in cutter as well, not much.
Grew up in Matamidi, Minnesota. Twin Cities. Palacios flies out to start the 6th. And you can check out the Pirates Great Taste ticket, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tickets are just $30, and they include $16 of loaded value, so you can enjoy your first beverage complimentary thanks to the Pirates. And limited seats, offer available online only at pirates.com/greattaste. There's Rick Dempsey waving right there, the Orioles' great catcher. He's on the '83 World Series team. Still got the famous mustache. Well, I'm glad it's not raining today. Otherwise, he'd be out there sliding on the tarp. I always remember that they would show that anytime there was a rain delay at a ballpark, or so they'd show Rick.
What a character
out there. Yeah, great catcher too. Received a nice warm ovation between innings. And Mitch Keller waiting for his next turn. 8 strikeouts through 5 innings. Hasn't walked anybody. Is rolling right now. He has the most strikeouts looking of any pitcher in baseball. Thanks to Emery Brinkman, our statistician, for that. I mean, this week, the way that he's pitched this week, he is the best pitcher in baseball right now.
Yep.
This week, the way he's pitched.
I don't know how you could argue it.
I mean, that's the kind of pitching that we've seen this week from Keller. That's as well as you can pitch. And so, really, over the last year, consistently has been very good. Got to make sure that Hedges is ready, but yeah, the way that he's pitched this week.
This will be his 15th inning in a row, having not given up a run. That might actually date even further back to before the Colorado Rockies start. But
I mean, he's allowed 1 extra base hit, and that came with 2 outs. It was a double, you know, in these 2 games, and he's striking out. He struck out 8 Rockies in that last start, walked 1. He struck out 8 Orioles, walked none so far today, and pitch efficient. Hedges has been on base all 3 times today. And speaking of good pitching, Pirates always, every team could use plenty of that. Point Park University bringing us this look at pioneering the future. Kyle Nicholas at AA Altoona. 5 innings, gives up 1 earned run, strikes out 5. The Ball State product, played for Rich Maloney there. The Cardinals came over in the trade with the Marlins, part of the return for Jacob Stallings. Good arm. And Bauman's going to get a talking to. Chris Holt, pitching coach, coming out. Ball 1 to McCutchen. And now let's step aside for this message from Bad Boy Mowers.
The fields, front lawns, and backyards of America. Bad Boy.
Key point for the Pirates here. Start to pull away and add on. I mean, you feel really good with Keller, and like you said, Derek Shelton has all the options today if he wants to get some relievers some work. Is this a second warning? Yep. It's a second warning. Now you don't get a second warning. You get a ball assessed for not allowing the hitter to set up and be ready. And so then Bauman retaliates with a strike. It's a 2-1 count. High and foul down the left field line. Take a look at the foot of James McCann right there.
Ooh.
Caught him on the side of the foot. Just missing, and now a full count on McCutchen. Reynolds on deck. Comes back to get him. Bauman strikes out McCutchen.
It was a good breaking ball he threw him right there. 3-2 count too. It was the one he was trying to throw to Hedges that missed badly.
Now Reynolds, who had a base hit, scored a run after reaching on a strikeout wild pitch back in the third inning. That was a 3-run third for the Pirates. Hayes drove in a run, and then Ji-hwan Bae with a 2-out 2-run single. Falling behind again. Bowen walked Hedges earlier this inning. He's at first with 2 away. More balls than strikes delivered by the Orioles reliever. Fought it off, and now full count. 98. Adley Rutschman, we have not seen him in the game today. He has played in every game. Not that Adley Rutschman. That's a fan, I know. But it was just reminding me about Adley Rutschman. He has not played in this game yet today. He's played in every game so far this year for the Orioles. In the air to deep left. Hayes with a lot of room there. Kind of banged up off the old wall out there. Still 4-0 Pirates. The mound for the Pirates. Needing just 62 pitches to get through the first 5. He's allowed 2 singles. He has struck out 8 and walked none. One of those hits was a Mullins bunt. Perfectly done back in that first inning. And another strikeout for Keller. 9 strikeouts for Mitch Keller. No one is immune.
May have got a little bit of help, but that one stayed on the plate for a good 59 feet. And then
already surpassing his strikeout total in that complete game shutout on Monday. Santander, one of 3 Orioles who have not struck out against Keller today. Fights it off. 97. Got the hands in. First hit since the 3rd for Baltimore. First base runner since the 3rd.
And I was going to say, Joe, he went with, look at how good a pitch this is. This is a really good piece of hitting by Santander. But I was going to say he started him off with a cutter on the inner half, a backdoor breaking ball, and then almost gets him out with a front door sinker. I mean, that is a very difficult arsenal to deal with as a hitter.
And even if you have a good hitter like Santander, put a good swing on it, that's all you're going to get out of that.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a rocket.
Yeah, 83 miles an hour off the bat, that ball from Santander.
And that's what we're seeing all year from Keller. Came into today 3rd lowest hard hit rate in baseball. What does that mean? Well, the odds of you hitting a 95-mile-per-hour ball off the bat are harder. He's one of the very best in baseball at limiting those. So very little hard hit balls. Yet, if we're diving into the numbers, 3rd most or 3rd highest percentage of pitches in the heart of the plate. He's throwing it where the hitters want it.
Yep.
And they still can't hit it hard off him very often. That's very good stuff and very good feel,
Yeah.
I think.
Well, when you have his stuff and you're able to stay on the edges, you tend to get away with a little bit more, especially when you're 95 and above in the heart of the plate. So it gives him a little bit more wiggle room and more room for air. But as you mentioned, not a single ball. Only 3 hits for the Orioles today, but not a single ball hit over 100 miles an hour.
4th career 9 or more strikeout game. His career most is 10. And there you have it. 10 strikeouts for Mitch Keller. The Orioles called out on strikes 5 times today.
Man, oh man, look at this. Just masterful what we're seeing from Mitch Keller.
And you talk about them not hitting the ball very hard. The average exit velocity by the Orioles on balls put in play today is just under 78 miles an hour. No one does that for a whole year. I mean, this is an elite performance from Mitch Keller. No walks, no extra base hits allowed. Tying a career most with 10 strikeouts with just 2 outs in the 6th inning. He has struck out Henderson every time today. He has struck out Mountcastle every time today, and Stowers to boot.
No extra base hits, 1 hit by pitch, no walks.
That was at 99 miles an hour. Mitch Keller dispatching the Orioles. A career high 11 strikeouts for Mitch Keller. For Mitch Keller.
Well, again, a lot of fastballs right here. You're going to see it. There's a breaking ball. But a lot of heaters in, up and in to the lefties. Some 4 seams and 2 seams at the top of the zone to the righties to put them away. Once again, Mitch got the full arsenal.
Now the UPMC Health Plan scoreboard 4-0. Pirates building an advantage for Keller. 1st inning run and then 3 more in the 3rd. Keller still at just 77 pitches. He's pitched 15 consecutive scoreless innings this week, Monday and today. Santana gone on the bouncer. And Mitch Keller getting some high fives. Everyone loving watching him pitch today, at least in that dugout.
Yeah, that guy likes it too, doesn't he?
Well, when AJ was on the broadcast with us the other day, was talking about how he keeps in touch with Mitch Keller.
Yep. Well, I played, I played golf with AJ yesterday, which was fun. But we keep in touch regularly, and he definitely is very aware, especially with teams that he's played on, and Pirates, one of them, with guys that have a similar arsenal to him. I think he obviously feels like he kind of speaks the same language. So he was asking me a lot of questions about Mitch. He's seen many starts, but he was asking me a lot of questions. How much have you seen him use this in the last several starts, so on and so forth. So he's actually been texting me saying, are those front door 2-seamers he's throwing? I can't see from this angle, but I'm assuming. And I'm saying, yeah, a la yourself, buddy. And he's going, oh, that's filthy.
It's wonderful to see his continued interest in the Pirates, and specifically with Keller, pitcher to pitcher. Really neat. AJ Burnett. And Keller with 11 strikeouts, the most in a game for a Pirate in 3 years. Sawinski's been on base every time today. And then if you get to the point where he doesn't walk anybody, 11 strikeouts and no walks, that's been 7 years since a Pirate has had that many strikeouts or more and no walks in a game. And that doesn't happen very often, only twice this century.
If you could just get that hit by pitch off, blemish off the. How dare he?
Sawinski caught out on strikes. And Bauman back-to-back outs to begin the 7th. And coming up on the next homestand Sunday, it'll be the Pirates and the Diamondbacks at 1:35. And join us for fun and games on the Family Fun Zone out on Federal Street before the game. And kids 14 and younger get to take home a replica Armed Forces cap thanks to West Virginia Tourism. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays. Find out the entire Kids Days Sunday schedule. Nothing better than a little cotton candy on a Sunday afternoon watching a ball game. Cheering on your Pirates.
That's a win-win for that young lady right there. So one of the teams she's cheering for is going to win today.
Standing up for what she believes in. Even though everyone's trying to put on this Orioles hat. You're going to an Orioles game. Well, no, I'm going to a Pirates game. It just happens to be at the Orioles Park, that's all. Hayes already with an RBI hit today. Pirates have had at least one base runner in every inning, but Bauman has retired the first 2 here in the 7th. .24 called strikes today by Keller. Second most in a game in his career. That's a hitter not being able to swing, right? Not knowing what to do. Guessing wrong, a whole bunch of things. And he's going to take the hill again. Mitch Keller back to the mound. Celebrating this great day. Yeah, the Pirates trying to make it go their way. 4-0. Trying to blank the Birds and return the favor. Mitch Keller raring to go. He has struck out a career most 11. He has walked none. He has not struck out Adam Frazier though today, who does not strike out very often.
Yeah, Hayes, Frazier, Santana, the only ones Mitch hasn't struck out today.
Getting ahead almost every time with strike 1.
It's incredible. I mean, it's obvious to say and to make note of. Like when you're ahead in the count, you're gonna have success. But when you see what Mitch did last start, in that complete game 4 hitter, and then you see what he's doing today so far, that number really stands out.
He strikes out Frazier. 12 strikeouts for Mitch Keller.
Frazier gets some too. Mitch says, you have a little bit of this as well, young man. Top of the zone, 95. And this ball is moving a ton, folks. Look at this. Whew.
That appeared to be in off the plate at first. Austin Hayes has put the ball in play twice. Keller has struck out 12. Nubbed foul. Remember, in his last start, he got better as the game went on.
Yeah. And you can use, you feel it as an offensive group when a guy has his stuff that day. And so the pressure starts to mount more on you, unless, of course, the game is tied or very, very close. And you tend to get more aggressive in those scenarios as the game goes along. And as you mentioned, in Colorado, what'd you say? In the 7th inning, he threw 7 pitches?
24 pitches total in those final 3 innings.
3 outs, or 3 innings, yeah. And that goes to show, I mean, you get to the point where you're going, oh man, I don't want to get to 2 strikes. This guy's stuff is too good today.
And he was throwing 98 in those final innings, retired all 9 in those final 3 innings on Monday in his complete game shutout. garnering the admiration of many, including A.J. Burnett looking on. So rarely seen, a ball hit by the Orioles today against Mitch Keller. It's their 4th hit, all singles. They've reached second base twice, once in the 1st inning, once in the 3rd inning. A completely dominant performance, 12 strikeouts. He has struck out Stowers both times today. Stowers now hitless in his last 19. Changeup stays away. Now, if you ask Mitch Keller, would you like another strikeout right here? He's trying to get a ground ball double play right now.
Yeah.
That would be his preference. He's just trying to get through the inning, get through the hitter. He's not looking for strikeouts. I asked him that a couple of times now this year because the strikeout numbers are very high this year. He said, I promise you, I'm not looking to strike out a bunch of guys.
Well, and looking at how he's thrown today, he's thrown a lot more two-seam runners for strike 3 than he has that 4-seam, which we saw him throw a ton against the Rockies for strikeouts. So I think you're right. I think he recognized before this game started that this is a team that makes a lot of contact, leads the league in walks drawn. So let me stay around the zone. Let me keep that ball moving and see how I can utilize it. And he's been just as effective as he was in that Rockies game, his last start.
Now, if you're thinking, is he going to go another complete game? I don't think the Pirates would want him to do that. The bullpen's well rested. Comes in with a changeup in the 7th inning on a 2-1 pitch. I mean, what's a hitter supposed to do?
Yeah.
Good fastball pitcher. Isn't he going to throw me a fastball? He throws me his 6th best pitch for a strike that I swing and miss on in the 7th inning. And then he gets to the fastball. I mean, he really can pitch too.
Yep.
Knows what to do.
And yeah, I mean, he's at 90. He's been very efficient, but when you're striking a lot of guys out too, like he has, you obviously are throwing more pitches than he was last time when he was getting a lot of weak contact, more so than the strikeouts.
A dozen strikeouts for Keller. Make it 13. 13 strikeouts for Keller. What an incredible outing for Mitch Keller. We haven't seen this in a long time.
Now this is the 3rd strikeout for Sowers on the day. Gunnar Henderson has 3. Ryan Mountcastle has 3. That's a 9 right there.
6 looking. And a weak fly ball. And Mitch Keller, if that's it for him today, what a sparkling outing. 13 strikeouts, no walks, and no runs. That would be the 3rd such game ever for the Pirates. Let's take a look at StatCast powered by Google Cloud. Many strikeouts for Keller today.
Just awesome from Mitch. 4-seam, as you see. That sinker, a lot of front hip sinkers to the lefties for strike 3. A lot of them looking as well.
And Cionel Perez will come on for Baltimore.
And there's some numbers for Perez. 18 games of work, 4-6, 12 Ks.
Yeah, looks like that'll be it for him today. I think that's the right call. And 93 pitches, and with a well-rested bullpen. He just pitched 9 innings 6 days ago. What more could you ask for from Mitch Keller?
But I'm sure if you ask him, he probably wants to keep running out there, right? There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, creeping up toward 100 pitches, you got a fully stocked back end of your bullpen ready in a 4-run game. You want to keep that rhythm. You want those guys to be rolling pretty good if they can, and Holderman and Bednar.
Well, it'll be the third outing ever for a Pirate, 13 or more strikeouts and no walks. Jose De Leon, 1985. And Francisco Liriano back in the 16 season. That's a fair ball. Rodolfo Castro pinch hitting. And couldn't be scooped by Mountcastle, so Rodolfo is aboard.
Moreau hitting for Tucupita Marcano. As soon as that lefty comes out of the pen, we know Rudy does a really nice job against left-handers. This one is about as deep a throw as you can make for an infielder. It's a tough play. See if we give him a hit or an error right there. Looks like they're trying to make a decision on that.
Castro has not started since Monday, but has seen these pinch hitting appearances against lefties. It'll be ruled an error on Gunnar Henderson, his 5th. Now Bay had a really big hit today, a 2-out, 2-run single in the 3rd inning. That took a 2-0 Pirate lead, made it 4-0, and that's been the score since the 3rd.
That was a big swing of the bat for the Pirates. As we know, having a tough time scoring runs.
And it looks like it'll be Holderman. That's been the recipe for the Pirates. Holderman to Bednar, and both haven't pitched very much in the last couple of weeks, so they're fresh. Holderman got up a little bit the last couple of games of the series, but didn't really get hot, so certainly going to be plenty fresh today. Fouled by Bay. There's David Bednar.
Well, and I would venture to say, unless it gets up to, call it 7+ runs, I would assume that we'll most likely see Bednar for an inning. He needs to get his work too.
A day off tomorrow. They'll try to get 2. They can't get that with Bay. 1-6 force. Bay will reach base. Josh Palacios coming up. And don't forget to check out the Bucks Flex plan. You can purchase 10 or 20 ticket vouchers to use however and whenever you want. They can be redeemed in advance to lock in seats, or you can wait until game day. Get your Bucks Flex plan and learn more about it. Pirates.com/flex. Connor Joe is going to come up here. And bad for Palacios. Connor Joe pinch hitting. Those numbers don't tell the whole story. Look at that OPS. They're the top 10 in the league. Great on base percentage, great slugging. I think Mitch Keller is going to be the pitcher of the week. 16 scoreless innings with 21 strikeouts and 1 walk. I mean, that's about as well as you could possibly pitch his last 2 outings. Connor Joe down 2 strikes. Fighting off 97. Joe's been one of the better guys in baseball at hitting high velocity too. He slugs .773 against 95+.
What's for me, it's like Brian Reynolds. It's just a short, compact swing. You don't see any lift. You don't see any extra trying to add onto it.
But Perez here able to get the double play. So the error doesn't result in anything for the Orioles. Pirates still lead 4-0. A lot of O's. Pitched by Mitch Keller today, but he's done after 7 innings. 13 strikeouts, no walks for Keller. One of the more dominant performances ever by a Pirates pitcher.
Well, you said it before the game. O's for the O's. That's what we were looking for today, and that's what we've got coming in this bottom of the 8th inning.
And Colin Holderman trying to keep that going. Pirates making some changes as Bay goes from second base to center field. And Jack Sawinski is going to go from center field to right field. Rodolfo Castro stays in the game. He'll play at second base. And Holderman picking up right where Keller left off. And Chris Owings, defensive shortstop, in there. So he'll bat in Joe's spot, 8th. Now Cedric Mullins.
Shealy's numbers for Colin Holderman. His 16th game, he's got a 3. Add an extra strikeout. 18-4 after that first strikeout.
Well, remember, he's already had an immaculate inning this month. He's halfway there. That's 9 strikes in an inning. Retiring the side. No, it won't happen here. Keller set a high bar today, and so far Holderman's living up to it. 14 strikeouts by Pirates pitching. No walks. That's foul.
Yeah, nice little catch. There you go, Mom.
Fouled away again. Santander with a hit today. Base hit for Mullins. He's got a 2-hit day today. Santander. Orioles do not have an extra base hit today. Mitch Keller went the first 7, walked none, struck out 13. Just the 3rd outing by a Pirate ever with 13 or more strikeouts without walking a batter. That is dominant. Santander also hit by a pitch earlier today. Taken all the way.
Wonder if he tried to call timeout and didn't get it. Santander 0 for 1 in his career against Holderman.
Lined back to first. A hit off the helmet of Mullins. So just a line out. Hopefully he's okay. So there's the second out, trying to get a third, and then right there. Two outs. Henderson glad Keller's out of the game. He struck out 3 times against him, and that'll be their first extra base hit of the day. Mancelino will hold up Mullins, down 4 runs. Got to be sure. So second and third now after that double by Gunnar Henderson.
Cutter stays middle in. That's usually the go zone for a lot of left-handed hitters. Jack does a nice job getting this ball in, keeping Mullins from scoring from first.
Didn't put a ball in play against Keller. Now Holderman has pitched once in the last 10 days. Getting in there. Trying to preserve this Pirates lead. Mountcastle also struck out 3 times against Keller today. So did Kyle Stowers. '99 from Holderman. Oh, Mountcastle, big threat. He had a game this year. He drove in 9. One of the best at barreling up the baseball, hitting it hard.
Nice job right here, getting ahead. Those faithful doesn't like that call. Look at this Mountcastle.
Seen a wider strike zone in this series.
That was very friendly.
Yeah, it wasn't even where they set up.
Yes.
And he comes back to strike him out. Big strikeout for Holderman with 2 in scoring position. They're left on. And the Pirates still shutting out the Orioles 4-0. Here in Baltimore, they've got a 4-0 lead. Mitch Keller going the first 7. Alan Holderman getting out of that jam. Keeping it this way. And the Orioles back to the bullpen for Austin Voth.
And those numbers for Voth. Saw him in game 1 of the series. 18 Ks, 5.21 ERA on the season.
I almost thought the Pirates were going to come back in that game. They were down 6-2 entering the 9th inning, and first 3 reached against Voth. Had to pull him. Brought in their closer Bautista. Austin Hedges on base all 3 times today. Both able to get Hedges. First time he's retired this afternoon. And David Bednar getting up. This could be, now we said that probably on Monday too, but this could be the start of the Pirates beginning to turn things around. You saw a lot of traffic on the bases today too. It's not just the pitching, but the hitting improving today.
Very encouraging day.
Started with that man. A little bit of a change to the lineup, putting McCutchen as the leadoff man. A hearted single up the middle, and that's how the game started. John Lipka says, "You win." What do you think? little bouncer. Adam Frazier. It's the second out. Reynolds got a hit back in that first inning. Rich got a first inning run and then added 3 in the third. A hit by pitch there. And that 2-out 2-run single by Bay in that inning.
Well, if you're going to get hit by a pitch, you want it to be a curveball usually, or a changeup. Reynolds didn't even flinch.
Now the Pirates with a good day at the plate today, but it all starts with pitching. And the Pirates really, despite some downturns here and there over the last month plus, their starters are posting an ERA in the low 3s. They're among the best in baseball. So even though they've had some losses in there, it's been some decent starting pitching for most of those times over the last 2 weeks. Certainly have seen that in this series. And today the pitching, 15 strikeouts, no walks. 7 innings by Keller, 1 by Holderman. Pirates have had 1 game like that in the last century, where they've had that many strikeouts and no walks by a pitching staff in a game. And the guy that's going to be coming in for the 9th hasn't walked anybody unintentionally all year. That's Bednar.
Yeah, Pirates pitchers have struck out half of the batters that they faced.
Wow.
So far today.
This is a good lineup too. I mean, this is not the the quad A team. Some fringe major league players. This is one of they were top 5 offense coming into today.
There goes B-Ray.
Pitches a strike.
Oh.
The throw down is not, and he's got a stolen base, his 6th.
Well, it's hard to tell if he got tagged in the head or if his helmet just popped off. It looks like they're going to challenge it. I think Ortiz might have got him right on what? Oof. Oh, awkward slide.
Bending that right leg underneath.
Did you get him on the helmet?
Was his foot on the base by that time, though?
Challenging the safe call at second.
Now does a moving helmet off of your head count as an out?
Yeah, when is it still in contact with that terrific flow? I don't know. And was his foot on the bag at the time of when the tag was down? Remember, the call is safe. So it's got to be something that tells us that something different happened than what was ruled on the field. And I don't know. At this stage of the game, Orioles might as well.
Is his foot on? We can't tell from that view.
They got to have something that's definitive. He tags the helmet.
Yeah, his helmet's off of his head.
Yeah, I mean that's why to the naked eye it looks like, oh, he tagged him in the helmet, but the helmet had already fallen off his head at that point, and we don't even know if his foot was in there. So I would think the call stands here. It's hard to really figure out one way or another truly what happened. Call on the field was safe.
If something tells me this is going to take New York.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner's safe.
Yep, so nothing definitive. Reynolds one shy of a career high in stolen bases.
Yeah, I think they might have said, Joe, that
unsheath the cutlass. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
tagged an empty helmet, right? That might be the.
These boos can be heard in New York where that call was made. And then a strikeout by Voth. And Bednar trying to finish off the Orioles. In 7 scoreless innings. Look at that kind of an outing. That's following up a complete game shutout on Monday.
Yeah, but Joe, he hit one batter though.
Not quite perfection. All right, fine.
We'll talk to him about that.
What a week for Mitch Keller. And then Holderman comes on, strikes out a pair, and now Bednar facing Frazier, Hayes, and then Stowers. That's who's due up. Little lob shot in the center. Frazier has his first hit of the day.
Here's the Shearley's numbers for David Bednar. 9 of 10 save opportunities. 0.6 ERA, 19 Ks, and 1 walk in those 15 innings.
Austin Hayes makes the curveball away. Pirates going for their 5th shutout of the year. Oh, you don't see that. Hayes hit it past Hayes. I don't know if it hit the edge of the grass or not, but in this series, we've seen a few balls take funny hops when they have.
And this ball's hit extremely hard by Hayes. And usually you give Hayes every benefit of the doubt when it comes to defense. It just looked like he wasn't necessarily able to square that one up and at least knock it down.
Well, assess an error to Hayes, and now that puts the tying run on deck. Stowers is hitless in his last 20. Struck out all 3 times today against Keller. That's a foul ball. Keller threw 93 pitches following that 9-inning outing on Monday. Kutch got everything started with a base hit, leading off today as a Pirate for the first time in 12 years. Looking to turn 2. Now 1 and 2 on Stowers. Lead runner Frazier, Hayes at first, trailing him. 16 strikeouts by Pirates pitchers today.
It's a spot that the Renegade rarely gets hit. This fastball up in the zone. We've seen very, very, very few guys be able to get to it. At most, fouling it off.
Opponents coming into today slugging 100 against this fastball.
And 218 overall.
And Rutschman might get into this game after all. Out on deck for Ortiz. A swing and miss. Now this very good Orioles team. Remember, they came into today trailing only the Rays in all of baseball. They're 26-13. They came into the series top 5 offense. Holderman a scoreless 8th. Lays off the splitter. It's 2-1. He's going to get that fastball over. He's not going to walk you. Bednar has 1 walk this year. Look on our Levin Furniture and Mattress strike zone. Yeah, the only walk that he's had all year was an intentional walk. How about another? 17 strikeouts by the Pirates.
That's straight paint right there by the Renegade. 2 fastballs at 98. Right on the edge, right on the black. Look at this. Have a seat.
"17 strikeouts. And Adley Rutschman, who has been in every game this year, finds a way to get in today. He'll pinch hit. Orioles' young star catcher. 2 on, 2 out. Pirates trying to complete a shutout. The Orioles' club record is 18 strikeouts in a 9-inning game for their batters. And a strike. And out away from a Pirates shutout win. Now behind in the count, 2-1. Adley Rutschman, 6 home runs. More walks than strikeouts. Popped up to Hayes. And the Pirates do it. They shut out the Orioles. Bednar makes a winner out of Mitch Keller. And what a performance by the Pirates pitchers. 17 strikeouts and no walks. You've never seen the Pirates pitchers have a game like that.
What a day. What a day. Beautiful Mother's Day in Baltimore. Pirates looking to salvage this series with 1 win of 3, and they do just that. Mitch, his line speaks for itself. From start to finish, in control. 13 strikeouts.
Big hit by Bay, too. That 2-out, 2-run single in the 3rd inning. And the offense had a lot of traffic today.
More flow from the offense today. More opportunities.